Okay, how everybody doing today? This is Marquise, and you're watching the Keys Review. Sorry for the time delay. We was having some technical difficulties, so we'll just jump right into it. So, of course, we have my buddy, my pal, that is joining us today, fellow Xbox gamer. His name, from A Day of Crime, David McLean. Everybody give an applause for him.
What's going on, Keith? Glad to be back on your show, man.
So, how do you feel like everything's gonna go, man?
I'm excited. I'm expecting something that we don't know. We talked about it last night, but Phil. So I hope there's a few surprises that we're not expecting today.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too. So there's a lot of good stuff I think that's gonna go on, man, and it's gonna be very, very interesting to see what they do. Really. So, what do you think you're gonna be seeing today?
Well, we're definitely going to be seeing a new Halo. There's been rumors that there's going to be like a Halo collection. I don't know how I'm feeling about that because I was already said that Halo was done after the last one because that's how it was set up. But we'll see where that goes. Just Cause 6 should be announced today, I believe, as well as a brand new Forza game. So I'm looking forward to those and whatever else they can dig up.
Yeah, because I'm hearing that they're gonna have a Fable 4, from what I'm hearing.
That's possible too, because Fable 4 has kind of been in the works for several years. I mean, a lot of years.
Yeah.
So I hope so, because it's about time for that one to drop. I've been looking forward to that one since I finished 3.
I feel you on that one. I definitely feel you on that one, man. But I'm also hearing that they're not going to show off the Series S, so they're not going to have that. And how do you feel about Microsoft discontinuing the Xbox One S and the Xbox One S digital is this in the Xbox One X?
I don't know. I don't know why they're doing that. My only thought pattern is maybe they come up with something that's newer today, as well as far as the digital realm goes. I think it's necessary, especially if they're looking to compete with Sony, right? Because we're gonna have an all digital edition from them. I'm thinking that either something didn't work out the way they wanted it to, or Phil has a bigger surprise for us on this announcement today.
Yeah, man. So I'm excited, man. I don't know how I feel because like Phil Spencer was saying a lot of stuff like, oh well, generational exclusives and everything like that, and not having like games that's only reduced to one platform. But then to me, it makes no sense because you're gonna have Halo there, you're gonna have Gears of War there, because I think the event's gonna be good, but what do you think about his comments? Like what do you feel like he's trying to convey? Because to me, it's kind of like I don't know.
Well, Microsoft, if you've been keeping tabs, has been moving more in the direction of uh, developing Microsoft Studios even more. So I think what he's actually trying to say is they're looking forward to having more independent games through Microsoft Studios, not necessarily pigeonholing anybody out. But what I think what he's saying is we're going to have more of our own content as well as the third party. Cutting out the third party for, with games that goes on all platforms would be dumb because that would pretty much just wipe Xbox out. They have gotten down what they wanted to get down, which is their crossplay. So they have fixed it, or they have set it up really nice where PC gamers and Xbox gamers, no matter which Xbox you're on, is able to play. And I think that's more where he's going. I don't really think that they're going to just all exclusives. That would just be, you can't do that.
Exactly, man. Because like I feel like if they come out with something, and it doesn't have to be like a brand new IP, it could be an old IP or something like that. But if they come out with something that's pretty amazing, I think this is how I feel. I feel like they have to start off with Halo. So if they start off with Halo, that's going to set the tone for the whole game. If you make Halo the last game, it's like what are we really going to expect a really, really great showcase, because like I think after the third party was like just like whatever. So
Right.
I think the real trick is going to be, let's see what you guys can do with your first parties and your third parties to, make gamers feel like they want to spend their money this Christmas.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they know they got the Xbox gamers. Master Chief has been, the spokesperson, the stable for Xbox since Xbox came out. I do expect that one to be shown first. And whoever they have, I can't remember who they said that they're working, that maybe working on that collection, but whoever it is, believe me, they're going to make sure they treat that with kid gloves. It's got to come out. I feel better than any other Halo game ever at this point.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's like and it's interesting that you say Halo, because with Halo they saying that, and Phil Spencer has said something about Halo kind of being like a collection or something like that. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see what does he mean by that.
What I took from that is that they're going to wrap every Halo game that's ever been made into one collection, including the new one. So that's what I took that to mean, which would be pretty epic, because that means that they're going to have it now where they pretty much remastered it, because you would have to, being that Master Chief started back on Xbox, the very first Xbox. Yeah. So that's going to be interesting, because they would have to go back, remaster that, remix it, and so that we can have it on the new gen console. So I'm really looking forward to that, to see what that's going to be. I know it's going to be expensive, because they got to throw a new helmet in with that.
Exactly. Because I think there was a whole bunch of games that they were saying that should be there. One of the games I'm looking forward to that's going to be on the Xbox and the PlayStation 5, it's going to be Bright Memory Infinite. That's one game that I'm hearing that we should see a lot more of, and I will be so happy if that's true.
Yeah, that one we should. I've been reading a lot about that one too. Get a large part of the showcase. I mean, I'm even to the point to where, depending on how this is going, whether it's on stage or home, how they're doing it, that we're going to hear a lot more from the developer of that game, what can expect. So prepare to get your appetites wet for that one for sure.
Yeah, for sure, man. And how do you feel about some of the new games that's coming up?
I have to wait and see them. There's been a lot of. I'm a big Xbox fan, but when you start talking some stuff, I want to see it backed up. So they're saying this is the best system. On paper, it does look that way. It does like the most powerful system. So I just want to see them. I think the new games running on this system, if they do that, I think they have to do that today, by the way. They have to show something that's running directly on the system so that we know exactly what we're getting. A lot of people saying that they felt like that's what was missing in the Sony presentations, because they saw clips, but they didn't really see anybody playing it. Yeah. So we have to wait to see.
Yeah, exactly, because you had a few games on the Sony event, like Gran Turismo, where they were showing actual gameplay and stuff like that, and not every game had gameplay, but they did show gameplay, and that's something that the last event didn't see. So I'm definitely expecting to see some gameplay on a couple of games, at least the bigger ones like Halo. We'll probably see Assassin's Creed on there, stuff like that.
Yeah, and you'll definitely see probably something from Forza, being that, they've got to combat Sony and Gran Turismo.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
Exactly, man. So we got 3 minutes to go. Let me check if we don't have nobody in the chat yet. But it's definitely going to be interesting, because I really wish, and who knows, they might surprise us. Like, I really wish that we can see the Series S, if they had it. But I know we was talking about it. You were saying you don't even know if they was going to maybe come out with it or something like that, right? Like, you think they are holding back and deciding if they really wanted to come back with that Series S, a.k.a. Lockhart.
Right. That's what I think they're doing. I think they're reevaluating what systems they want to put out. I think they're looking at price point. I think they're looking at the pandemic, what that's going to do to numbers. I also think that they're paying attention to what Sony's doing as far as what the price point is going to be. So I think that, like I said, I wouldn't 100% count out the Series S. They may be coming at it at a different angle, but there's no way that they're going to just have one console. And I think that the second console, at least one of those consoles, has to be a digital platform one.
Yeah, because I believe with the systems, like nowadays, like you almost got to kind of take like a cell phone approach almost, So it's like it's better to have a couple of systems, because that can serve everybody, basically. You know what I'm saying? So it's not.
Now, what I have heard though, and I would be amazed if this happened. I have been reading that they are considering, or they're thinking about making a system that's like Nintendo's, right? So they want to have a portable one. And if they scrap the S for that, because remember now, they have been chasing out Project xCloud. And Project xCloud is supposed to be, you can pull your games anywhere from the cloud with a Wi-Fi connection. And I'm thinking that that's what they could be touting, is because they want everything to be portable, all your games to be in the cloud. So all of the original games you have on your Xbox is going to be with you, which is going to be just like the Switch. And they say it might be better. So I wouldn't count that one out today either.
Okay. Yeah, so hold on. We're getting some text that they can barely hear us. Let me see what's going on. Let me see here. And actually, any final words?
Now I'm just looking forward to it, man. I hope that everything we talked about happens. I hope that Xbox comes out and blows everybody's mind and actually backs up what they've been saying about the system for the past like 6 months.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too, definitely, man. So it's going to be very, very interesting. So anyway, we're going to be starting here. Me and David will be in the chat. So if you guys are watching, we're going to be in the chat talking to you guys. We're going to let the stream play. And enjoy the show, guys. Here we go.
Mjolnir exosuit is now complete. Even though this technology will save humanity in the war to come, I must remind myself, liquid crystal cannot rise on its own. Titanium alloy cannot prevail in the face of extinction. Armor cannot hope. It all means nothing until you step inside.
Am I dead already? I must be. I mean, this is a punishment, right? Yep, this is death. No! No! No, 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 no! This isn't happening. I'm going to have to make an emergency landing. Hold on, ship. No, you! I can't stand this! Who you are?
Breathe.
No! You don't get to tell me what to do. You don't get to tell me anything! We're... you even listening?
I count 3 anti-aircraft cannons.
3 what?
You'll be safe here.
Oh, I'll be safe. Safe? I haven't been safe since I found you. I found you, remember? You were out there on your own, and you'd still be out there if it wasn't for me. I thought I was going home.
There won't be a home if we don't stop the Banished.
You keep saying that. We're outgunned, outnumbered. I know I saw condors over there. I'm going to dig through them and find one with the working slipspace drive. And when you're done with this war, we'll get away from here. Far away.
Wait here.
Oh, please. Let me see what I can find.
Cannons first. When I get back, we can look. Together.
Okay, big guy.
lost this war months ago. Your people are broken, scattered, hunted, defeated by me. I wish I could tell you it was difficult, but it wasn't. We are one step ahead, always. The ring is already under our control. Soon, the auditorium as well. The Harbinger and the Banished share the same goal. We fight together to honor the will of Atriox. But without challenge, I grew weary, lost, alone. But here you now stand. This is my last fight. A true test of legends. Our story will outlive us both. Set a fire in your heart, Spartan. Bare your fangs. Fight hard. Die well.
We hope you enjoyed your first look at Halo Infinite's campaign. I'm incredibly proud of the team at 343, and we're thrilled to share a hint of the epic battles that await you on the next chapter of Master Chief's journey. This is the most ambitious campaign we've ever created at 343. For the first time, players will have the freedom to explore a mysterious new Halo ring that's several times larger than our last two Halo games combined. Halo Infinite has been built from the ground up to take full advantage of Xbox Series X. Bigger battles, epic vistas, more complex visual effects, displayed with 10 times the processing power per pixel of Halo 5. This will be running at a flawless 60 frames per second and will allow us to bring the Halo ring to life in ways that have never been possible before. We look forward to sharing even more about Halo Infinite in the coming months, including the first look at multiplayer. And now, please enjoy a glimpse of what others in the Xbox Game Studios family have been working on.
World premiere.
Welcome everyone to the Xbox Game Showcase. Today, we're showing games from 9 of our 15 Xbox Game Studios, including unveils of 5 new first-party games. What you will see today is how Xbox Game Studios are harnessing their passions to bring their dreams to life. We believe that how you find and play your games is as important as the device you play them on. Xbox Game Pass is the best way to discover and play, and we want you to be able to experience as many great games as possible. So Game Pass members, you can play every game you see today from your subscription or free to play. These games will look and play best on Xbox Series X, delivering unmatched fidelity, performance, precision, and immersion. And we've designed the most consistently powerful next-generation console. And we've built state-of-the-art platform technology to allow every developer to realize their full vision. One studio that has always pushed the limits of our hardware is Turn 10. And they're early in development on the next Forza Motorsport. And Xbox Series X is bringing them closer to their dream of unprecedented realism with ray tracing and native 4K resolution, all at 60 frames per second. The trailer you're about to see was captured completely in-engine.
World premiere.
Our world has a rhythm. We all sense it. But only a few truly feel it. It is found in the smallest moments. In every step of a perilous journey. In the symmetry of ritual. In the bonds we share. And in moments of stillness. It teaches us to look beyond the expected. To be a light in dark places. To seek answers. And to stand watch over our world. Our world has a rhythm. We all sense it. But only a few truly feel it.
Everwild will give to you a magical and untamed natural world for you to explore and to just truly lose yourself in. It's a place to be eternal. And Eternal has the gift to sense and feel how magic flows through nature and connects every living thing. The team here at Rare are so excited to be working on something like Everwild, and I hope you're excited too. But I just want to take this opportunity to say a massive, massive thank you to everyone who's shown their support and love, and for the incredible, awesome, positive community that's already growing around this game. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Whoa, I just got hit with a flood of memories.
Love you, Mom.
You seeing what I'm seeing?
Mom?
Allison?
Yeah. It doesn't matter that they don't believe us.
We all believed that what happened that night was self-defense. But we couldn't be sure.
It doesn't matter that they kept us apart.
Brother, sister, we look out for each other.
It doesn't matter that finding the truth feels impossible.
We're all done with fairy tales.
The only thing that matters is you're my brother. And the only way to move forward, Mom, is to keep looking back.
Mom!
We've been getting these visions whenever we see or hear something really emotional. Everything we thought we knew about Marianne just got thrown out the window.
She loved you. She attacked you. We both saw it.
I thought coming here would be closing a chapter of our lives.
Nothing good comes from stirring up old memories.
We don't really have a choice about that.
There's always a choice, son.
I can't do this. Stop!
Hey everyone, my name is Gennady. I'm the co-founder and director of technology at Moon Studios. Today we're very excited to tell you that we're working on a very special version of Ori and the Will of the Wisps, specifically for Xbox Series X. We are now at a time where we can reach levels of fidelity and frame rates previously absolutely impossible on any console. An already gorgeous game like Ori can now run at 120 Hz refresh rate in full 4K HDR in its highest quality, delivering unprecedented game feel with silky smooth animation, super crisp, sharp image, and low input latency, which is just so important for the tight and precise platforming feel of this game. We can also boost the immersion in different spaces in our world by using premium audio tech that we previously just could not simulate in real time. And with all of this crazy hardware power, we can give our players more options with how they want to play our game. We can't wait for all of you to experience this very special version of Ori coming to Xbox Series X with smart delivery later this year.
From the furthest reaches of the universe comes the biggest mystery in the galaxy.
An abandoned research facility, and now shady corporate intrigue.
Marvel of the Gorgon asteroid. A sordid stopover, full of salacious secrets. and scandalous strangers.
Greetings, attractive patron. You are looking downright unlawful today.
With the right kind of case,
They wanted us to develop a miracle drug.
can put you on the wrong side of a gun. Or sword. Or this thing. Thrills. Danger. Intrigue.
A word of advice before you go, Captain? Trust no one.
What will you find on Gorgon?
This unit cannot bring you any drinks in its current state.
If you're waiting for the biggest game of the year, then wait for Cyberpunk. But if you're ready for the smallest, we've got you covered. From Obsidian Entertainment, the makers of games that are nothing like this one. This summer, strive together to thrive together. Or just feed your friend to the spiders and go solo.
At Obsidian, we're dedicated to pushing narrative and role-playing games. It's something we do every day when we come to the office, and we can't wait for you to play our next great adventure, Peril on Gorgon. It's the first of 2 planned story expansion packs for the Outer Worlds that we're putting together with our friends from the Private Division. Now, it's also important that we continue to evolve how we tell stories in games, and Grounded is the perfect example of that. The team has been working for the last 2 years on how to tell an Obsidian story within a survival game. Now, what's great is that you're going to be able to play the game on July 28th on Xbox Game Preview and on Steam Early Access. We want to hear from you, and we want to continue to build Grounded together. Oh yeah, if you've been wondering, we have been working on that next big Obsidian RPG. Check this out.
World premiere.
We have always known war. It forged our empire. Turned heroes into queens and kings. And decimated our foes. Now our oaths are lost, forsaken. And you must face the monsters our sins have borne. Is an oath worth the weight of a crown?
Avowed is an expansive first-person RPG set in the fantasy world of Eora. When Obsidian Entertainment joined Xbox Game Studios, they told us that this epic game is the one they want to make. As creators of critically acclaimed RPGs, this is Obsidian at their best. and it is being built from the ground up to take full advantage of the power of Xbox Series X. At Xbox Game Studios, we also work with independent developers, always with the goal of empowering them to bring their ideas to life. I'm excited to announce our work with Interior Night, a new studio led by some of the most talented storytellers in our industry. Let's meet Caroline Marchal, studio head of Interior Night, to debut their original game.
Bonjour, I'm Caroline from Interior Night. Our team is really passionate about interactive storytelling because when you play a story, you step into the character's shoes. You get to experience their fears, their hopes, their conflicts firsthand. And in the process, you learn more about yourself. And this is quite powerful. Our first game spans 30 years in the American Southwest. It's a story about family, resilience, and sacrifice. But most of all, it's about how you will shape the fate of real, flawed people trying to find their way in a world they don't fit in. I hope you enjoyed the trailer.
World premiere.
Fortune, fortune, smiling fate. I haven't seen you much of late. I need you now, cannot wait, but when I look, you're not around.
We were on our way to start a new life that summer. For our family, it was just a stopover.
For mine, it was the end of the road.
On the ground, now!
The sun went down on all of us that day. Was it fate? Coincidence? No. It was a long-forgotten secret, buried in the dark.
All my life, I've been scared of the shadows. But now, I'm finally ready to step into the light. I got your letters.
Here at Ninja Theory, we're hard at work on all of our projects, including Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, which we announced at the Game Awards back in December. An incredible 3.5 million players have now experienced Senua's story in Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. We're excited to start giving you an insight into what comes next for our Celtic Warrior, an experience that we'll be building in Unreal Engine 5 for Xbox Series X and PC. I'm happy to reveal today that Senua's Saga will be set in the beautiful country of Iceland. And you can find out more about our location scouting and how we've discovered the history of our setting in a brand new behind-the-scenes development diary, which you can view straight after the show on the Ninja Theory YouTube channel. It's been so touching to see the impact that Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice has had on so many players, and we're incredibly thankful to all of the fans that have been part of Senua's story so far. And we're excited for you to be part of our development journey from here on out.
Do I say hi to Peter? He's on the line
What?
here.
Peter, he's been sitting there the whole time? Hey, who wrote the song?
Peter.
Oh, Peter. Fantastic work. Love the song.
Very much.
It's going to be fun to sing it. Now it's time to...
probably been a long time since you've had a visitor. I hope you don't mind pop-ins. Where are we?
Shh. It's a quiet place. Lost alone, neither skin nor bone. Just a thought is all I've got. Now my cover's blown. At the bottom of a lake, a frozen feeling. When my friends pulled me back up, I started to this rhyme. I can smell the universe, and I can taste the sky, and I can see each molecule through my cosmic eye. Senses are the magic keys. They fill the holes I've had, unlocking all my memories, which I never
We can't wait for you to experience the amazing games built by Xbox Game Studios, and there is just so much more for you to play on Xbox. We are partnering with thousands of creators, from the largest publishers to the smallest independent developers, to bring you the broadest variety of games ever. There is one developer in particular that is close to us, not just geographically, but in history too. I'm thrilled to announce that this fall, our friends at Bungie will bring Destiny 2 to Xbox Series X and Xbox Game Pass. If you are one of the more than 10 million Game Pass subscribers, you also get access to all current Destiny 2 expansions starting this September. For Game Pass Ultimate members, Destiny 2 will also be playable on mobile from the cloud. Later this year, Bungie will also release a new version of Destiny 2 that is optimized for Xbox Series X, 4K resolution running at 60 frames per second. Here's an all-new look at Bungie's Destiny 2 Beyond Light.
I've seen terrible things born out in the darkness. Every moment brings them closer. It's time to step beyond the light.
This is Destiny 2 that you can play any way you want thanks to Xbox Game Pass. Some of the world's most inspired developers are working on games for Xbox Series X, and we're just honored to be able to collaborate with them. Xbox Series X will empower both new and experienced creators to bring the future of games to life like never before. Unique perspectives, unexpected innovations, and fresh voices that demand to be heard and that we can't wait for you to discover. All of the games you're about to see are being built to launch exclusively on Xbox consoles. Thanks and enjoy.
World premiere. World premiere.
My Lord Inquisitor, I've reached Terma Prime and begun our investigations. Our recon squad has been sent into sub-level 6 of the Hive to determine the full extent of the unrest. I'll know more when they make it back. If they make it back.
World premiere.
Something changed, my heart could not contain the miracle of this world and all that it creates. With every passing day, the winds might grow stronger and carry us away, but we will hold on to joy to light the way, to keep the reminder that life
World premiere.
Approaching orbit. Scan's a no-go. Sure you want to drop here?
Oh yeah. Already lacing up my boots back here.
What we got? Another good-for-nothing space rock?
Whoa. Hold on, let me check.
Find anything good?
Vex, you're not gonna believe this. Ouch! What the?
It all starts with a dead girl. A forest. The moon. Scent of pines. And then the gunshot. Every story has two sides. A regular, rational one, but also a darker and deeper truth. Not unlike a nightmare. I can see both. Worse, I can live them.
Hello? Anyone there?
What is this place?
World premiere.
Luis Torres. I've seen your future. Global Risk is scared of the weapon you will become.
Destiny chose me to save this world. And I will see it done.
Blacklist, we make our own path. We protect our own.
Can you protect me from fate?
17 seconds.
We got cover.
Soon, the entire world will burn. All because of him.
The ghost is here!
Today, you saw 10 world premieres and 22 console launch exclusives. Game Pass members can play every game you have seen today from Xbox Game Studios and all of our partners in the subscription or free to play. This is just a peek at some of the new titles coming to Xbox Series X. And some of the games you already love and some you have yet to play will also be optimized for Xbox Series X. Games like Forza Horizon 4, Gears 5, and Sea of Thieves. You'll get the next-gen upgrades at no additional cost when they launch. You can expect a lineup of over 100 titles for Xbox Series X this holiday season. With Series X and Game Pass, Xbox is the place to play, and you are at the center of everything we do. Now, you may have noticed we didn't get to visit all of our Xbox Game Studios today. That means we'll have more to share later this year. But until then, here's one more thing.
World premiere.
The world is filled with stories of legendary heroes and treacherous villains, of fantastical creatures and wondrous places where nature and magic live in perfect harmony. Not all stories have happy endings. But yours has yet to be written.
Okay. Alrighty, guys, we're going back live. I'm sorry for some of the trouble. Look like Skype is hanging up today. So I'm not sure if you guys see me choppy or David choppy or anything like that, but we're going to try to proceed on here. So yeah, David, we was talking a little bit about how things was. So what was your overall feel on everything of the event today?
My overall feel, I feel it was pretty good. You know, like, again, I think they did the best that they could do in the pandemic. Like you, I'm disappointed that there wasn't more gameplay, but I kind of feel on both ends, Microsoft and Sony, that was to be expected just because of the time that we're in. But I think the overall tone of the show was great.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, because I think it was pretty good. I was very, and you already know, I was very disappointed in that ending, man. Like, like, it's like we had Fable, so as soon as I saw it, like, Fable, yes. Like, okay, they're gonna end it, and it was like 15 seconds. I'm like, come on, Microsoft, you gotta do me better than that, man. So I didn't think it was great personally for me. I thought it was good, definitely a lot better than the third-party event. I wish they would have sold more of I wish they would have sold Bright Memory Infinite, you know, because I'm more interested to see that. Who knows, maybe they'll do their own thing or something like that. Because I thought Crossfire, what they were showing Crossfire, at first I thought that was kind of Bright Memory Infinite for a minute, but I know something was off with the graphics because it wasn't a game, you know. But yeah, I thought it was a good event though, a lot better, a little bit more well-rounded. Like you said, you know, wish there was more gameplay. I'm with you on that one, you know. But hey, you know, beggars can't be choosers, I guess. But they did show a lot. I'm not even sure if I got down everything because I'm trying to type and look at the same time. But yeah, but I think one thing we agreed on was with showing Halo first. I think that was an awesome decision. You know, what you feel?
They had to do that. I think if they wouldn't have done that, it would have messed up the tone. Halo has been something that has been touted to Xbox fans now coming back for like the last 12 months. I was very curious of what they were going to do because, like I said, I don't know, you know, all the people's watching who is a Halo fan or who play a lot of Xbox, but the last Halo that came out, that was it. Master Chief is pretty much dead. It was gone away. They even said it was the last one. So my thought pattern is, what can we do now to bring Master Chief back? How is this going to quite work out?
Yeah,
we're going to resurrect him, and I think they did an excellent job with that. This new villain they got.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know what he came up from, but he looked awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, because even me, you know, mostly playing on PlayStation and stuff like that. I've played Halo and stuff, but I think that trailer was an amazing trailer. Like, that made me want to play Halo because I've never been a huge Halo fan. You know, if anything, I think I was a little bit more of Gears a little bit, kind of. But I think that Halo, like, graphically, some of this stuff they saw with the gameplay, that villain looked freaking sick. I mean, that was a good showcase. You know, that was very good.
And then they're guaranteeing that this game, as well with the other ones, is going to run at a flawless 60 frames per second.
Yeah.
It's going to be the big thing. That's going to be, I mean, that means it's going to be the most fluent Halo out there. We should have no issues. So I can't wait. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll definitely see what happens. But the cool thing about that one is a launch title, it seems like, because they say holiday 2020. So that should be launching around the system, or at least within the first month or two, probably within the system. So I think that's pretty awesome.
Again, something you have to do. I mean,
yeah.
You know, if you don't, it's kind of like Sony has to release Ratchet and Clank or one of their big titles like that first.
Yeah.
Nintendo has to lead with Mario. So if Microsoft don't lead with Halo, people are gonna be like, what the heck?
Exactly, yeah, because I was hearing rumors that they was not going to come with any first-party titles for the first 2 years. I'm like, that can't be right. So I'm glad they have at least Halo coming out. You know, I'm also glad they didn't show that last, because to me that would have been a downer. Which honestly, looking back at it now, should have been last at this point. But
right.
Yeah, I am glad. Halo looks phenomenal. I mean, just when you see Master Chief, like the detail in his gloves, like that's next gen right there. You know. Excuse me.
But
yeah.
I think, I mean, if we talk about what I consider to be one of the biggest game changers, I think when we talked about this earlier, when you were saying, you know, you heard rumors of no exclusives, I'm like, that can't be true.
No.
Because Microsoft wants to tout out their studios, and they've said for the last 4 years that they wanted to give back to the gamers, and making all of these games free to anyone that has a Game Pass. That's exactly what they're doing. If you go into Destiny 2, though, here's what I'm kind of considering or kind of wondering. Of course, Bungie has to be on board with that. Now, if you guys have been following the whole Destiny saga, it's like they come out with the game, people play, then they fall off. Then they wait a year, and then the new patch comes, so the new update, then they play, then they fall off for 2 years. I think this is Bungie's answer of maybe we get some of those old gamers back and keep them because now they're not buying anything, and we're going to give you the whole catalog. So I think that's a changer.
Yeah, exactly. And it will be interesting to see what they do in the future, you know, because, and here's the thing too with Bungie is now independent, you know, they don't have to worry about having a publisher or anything like that anymore. So that could be, you know, adding on to a lot of the decisions and everything like that, you know?
Right.
So, I mean, we'll definitely see what's going to go and happen on with that stuff. But it's going to be interesting to see and how that works with Game Pass, because they're going to be technically the first third party that we know, you know, at least me personally, that knows that's going to be on Game Pass, where, you know, you just pay the subscription fee and everything like that. Yeah, so.
Well, and I think it was with the Destiny when there was so much stuff going on. They're also saying this is going to be able to be played from the cloud portably. So to me, that's saying that, like me and you discussed before, either they're going to come up with a system of its own, or they have been testing it. Now, I am one of the Xbox insiders, and I do know that they have been testing it on iPhones and on Android devices as well as tablets. And I know that that's one of the ways that Microsoft was saying they wanted to go, because they're able to pull that off, then they don't have to charge you for a portable device. Just your iPad or your Surface or whatever you use will be your gaming platform. So I'm going to be curious to know, especially with the game as high caliber as Destiny 2, with frame rates and things of that nature across an LTE service. I'm very curious as how that's going to work.
Yeah, man. So we'll definitely see what happens with that stuff, because, like, I know xCloud is made for mobile for the most part. I'm hearing that it should be on the systems too, but they haven't confirmed that, because what they've been saying is xCloud, you know, which I heard that name's supposed to be changed too to something else. But I'm hearing that xCloud is really only supposed to be for mobile. But I don't think Microsoft's just going to have that for mobile with the Series X coming out and possibly the second system if they do decide to do it. I definitely think that they're leading on more to what they're saying. And from what I know, I think they confirmed this. I have to look back at my notes, but I think they confirmed that xCloud should be included with Game Pass for no extra cost. I think that's confirmation, right?
Right, that's supposed to happen. But the reason why they're touting it being on the computer is because of the way Project xCloud is supposed to work, which is why you're not gonna have to buy any more games. So it will be on the system, because it has to be, because the system is gonna react as the feeder. Yeah. So when you're out with your tablet, you're supposed to just be able to dial back into your Xbox. All the games you play is coming directly from your Xbox. Your Xbox becomes that hub, and then that game goes up through their main cloud and then down to you. Yeah. So it has to be on the system that way. That's why I'm saying, is that going to be flawless?
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, because, like, one thing with streaming games, and this is the reason why I'm still not on board, regardless, I don't care if it's Sony, I don't care if it's Microsoft, whatever, is the latency, the lag. And it's understandable, because you have to hit the control, because especially with games, it's not like watching Netflix. You know, we want to be able to hit the button and it reacts. And the best way to do that is locally. You know, that's basically meaning that the controls and everything is being processed locally, and then, you know, if you're playing online, it sends the signal out or whatever like that. But with these like the Game Pass, the xCloud stuff, and the PlayStation Now, like, you know, you play the games and they can play, but you know that, you know, it's a little bit of latency, because it has to take time to register to the server wherever it may be, all the way back, you know, back to your screen, basically. And I don't think we're there yet, you know. I think, honestly, we have to start having more like 1 gigabit connections for everybody in order to make that a reality, you know. Because I think I was watching, I forgot what video I was watching about a month ago, where they was discussing some of that, where we would have to have a faster internet connection to try to reduce, you know, some of the latency that we will experience. So we don't have that, you know, that feeling of pressing the button and it doesn't happen until like a second later, you know.
Right. Well, it's going to be. We've tried this before, right? Sony's tried it before from the PS3, I believe, to their
places now.
Like, didn't really work that well.
Yeah.
Hopefully, this has been in the works now for at least the last 3 years. So I'm hoping that Microsoft has found whatever the niche is. I don't think it's going to be flawless at the beginning, but you do have companies like Apple, for instance. Apple Arcade kind of brought in a whole new era of mobile gaming and what can be done.
Yeah.
So hopefully, we get something really good off of that.
Yeah. So I was hoping they would say something about it, but they didn't. So hopefully we get something in the future, and of course I'll be following it. But yeah, let's move on to some of the others. State of Decay 3. What's your thoughts?
Never been a huge State of Decay fan, but that one looks pretty good. I'm gonna have to check it out.
I agree. So that one looks good. They also I was kind of disappointed in the trailer for Forza a little bit, especially when they got me pumped when they saw me Laguna Seca track. So it's basically because I love to race cars and the race car games and everything like that, because I'm a huge Gran Turismo fan. So, but it did look good. If this was native footage, it did look good. But I wish they would have showed a little bit more gameplay on Forza. I'm not sure.
Again, it's disappointing because Forza in a regular world, pre-pandemic, that would be one of the games on stage that they actually would play.
I agree.
And they would talk through, so you do get, a lot more of, here's the car, here's what you can change in the car, here's what the track looks like. So I do agree it was disappointing in that, but again, I think a lot of it has to be due to the pandemic, unfortunately.
Yeah, so we'll see.
COVID messing up everything this year.
COVID messing up everything, brother. But but one that, okay, if I do get an Xbox, or who knows, maybe they have it on PC or something, we don't know, but this game I'm really excited for when they sold it. Tell Me Why. That game looks freaking phenomenal.
Okay, everything about that game, somebody took some good time.
Yeah, now I'm jelly on that one.
I'm one of those people. I look for everything in the game. I couldn't find any flaw. I mean, every pixel looked good. The characters look good. The world looked good. It just makes you. I wanted to say, give me a controller, me play it right now. So I'm definitely excited for that one. That definitely would be one. I would say buy, but I'm a Game Pass subscriber.
Game Pass. Taking advantage of that Game Pass. You got a winner right here, Microsoft. You got a customer for the Game Pass right here.
That $15 a month just pay me back in dividends right there.
That one might have to stay on the hard drive for a little bit. Or, I'm sorry, not hard drive, the SSD now. We ain't messing with no hard drives no more. But, yeah, I really think, Tell Me Why, if I do end up buying an Xbox, I think that will be one of the games that will sell me, because it looked like the story was good. The characters, it looked like the mocap was pretty good on it. I'm still sure they're still working on other stuff, but the visuals look amazing. I mean, when you're talking about a next gen game, I think that game, out of the whole bunch, minus maybe Halo, it might even look better than Halo to me, and even Forza in some cases. I think that was the best looking game, honestly, in the whole showcase. I really do think that was probably the best looking game.
I think, but I hate to say it because I'm a huge fan, but I think that one looked a little bit better than probably Halo did.
Yeah.
I think that Tell Me Why it could be a console seller, because they did not mention that this is going to be on smart delivery.
Yeah.
Which means that you're going to buy it for the current Xbox you have to buy it for that one too. I think that one could be a next gen console seller right there.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, so that one is a good one. I think that one's going to be a good one. So if that game even get bad reviews, I'm going to be honestly shocked, because that game looks amazing. The only question is, how does it play? I think, because I think visually it looks stunning. I think the storyline is going to be pretty good. So it just depends on the gameplay elements and how all that stuff works out,
Right.
Yeah. So moving on, The Outer World. What's your thoughts on that one?
I'm not an Outer World fan. I think I played one for like 5 minutes. This one looks good. It looks like, I think the guy said they built it from the ground up. It does like it'll be a little bit more interesting. So being that I can pick it up without paying money for it, I'd definitely be trying it out.
Yeah.
It may surprise me. What do you think? Are you an Outer World fan?
Not really, not for that one. So we'll see. It wasn't. I don't know. I'll probably have to go see it again, you know, because some of this stuff I'm gonna have to go back and see because I'm trying to type too, you know, and make notes while I'm, you know, trying to watch. And even though I got my two screens like right here next to each other, still like, you know, you're moving your eyes trying to concentrate on something. But I don't know. I'll have to see about that one. Then we have Avowal, which, if I remember correctly, they didn't so much. And I can actually, let me see if I can scroll back on some of this stuff, which I don't even know the timeline, so it's probably no use. But yeah, so you had the Vow, which looked okay, and then you had Just Falls, which was okay, I think. What was your thoughts on those two?
We're checking out. Nothing that really made me want to jump out my seat.
Yeah.
Yes. And again, that could be because of lack of gameplay or just the trailer that we saw. Right.
Yeah.
I think the experience there'd be a lot different once we can get our hands on it, or they said more to come. So maybe if they release somebody actually playing it, we'll be able to.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll definitely see. Just Falls, Psychonauts. Psychonauts, I was kind of surprised of. I was not expecting that because I haven't played Psychonauts, but I know it's a very, very popular game. And for them to show Psychonauts, and it comes to question, you know, is this going to be or I should say Microsoft, not even Xbox, because a lot of these games are supposed to be playable on PC too, but a Microsoft exclusive. You know, that comes into the question because that game looks pretty fun, man. Like, I've always wanted to play Psychonauts, you know, so maybe I'll try to play it one of these days. But you know, it's, you know, start coming to the argument: is this going to be an exclusive? You know, is this going to be just a Xbox game? You know, like what is this game going to really be? Because we know it's not I don't think it's a first party. I believe it's a third party game. But it's like, you know, are they just going to have this experience on Xbox? Or are they going to have it on PS5? Because me personally. And I think this is the reason why I never got the Xbox. I was close. I've even went as far as buying the controllers, the charge kit, stuff like that, and just never got the system because it's like I just needed that one more thing to push me over, you know. And I think the main thing is more of the single player exclusive because I love to play multiplayer games. Don't get me wrong, you know. And Microsoft is known for their multiplayer on Xbox. But, you know, I would like to see more single player experiences that's just exclusive to Xbox. You know, what's your thoughts?
I think we're starting to get that now.
Again, I agree.
Outside of Microsoft Studios, we do have to kind of keep in mind that it's up to whoever the third-party developer is that wants to do that. And
true.
Years now, they've all honed in on the best way to play video games is play with somebody.
Yeah.
But if you look over the course of the last 2 years, that's been changing.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people like me. I enjoy multiplayer sometimes, but I really like a good solo player experience because sometimes I just don't feel like playing with nobody but myself.
Yeah.
So I just want to be, you know. Maybe I want to dig into the game a little bit more or explore.
Yeah.
With all these big titles, we're getting closer to that. If you looked at a lot of these ones that they announced today, most of them had a lot of a big solo campaign. Even now to Halo saying this is the most expensive solo campaign ever.
Yeah.
And they did not talk about multiplayer today, right? They said we'll come back and give you some more of that.
Yeah,
so they put solo at the front.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. I was like, man, they didn't really show a lot of games that was multiplayer because even Halo, which is supposed to be a multiplayer game, and I think both of us agree, we was happy to actually see a single player campaign. But I would have still liked to see a little bit of multiplayer, you know, because that's one thing that a lot of people said that Sony didn't have a lot of multiplayer. I think it was like 2 or maybe 3 games that was multiplayer. You know, Gran Turismo was one of them. Excuse me. But yeah, I agree. They really didn't show that many multiplayer games, you know, so that was very interesting, especially for the system that's known for multiplayer, you know, like that was one of, especially back in the 360 days, that was one of the biggest things that Microsoft was known for was having the multiplayer experience on the Xbox. And we really didn't get, I mean, we still got more months to go before we get the system, which is, it's looking like it's November. But it was interesting they didn't show that many multiplayer games, honestly.
Well, another part of that too is I think because they were probably concerned about what we went through earlier, the lag and people gonna do it from home. So I think what you're gonna probably end up seeing is when we do see multiplayer, you're gonna have some people that's gonna be in the studio, to where because I think Halo's gonna be bigger. I don't think it's gonna be one of those you know 10 or 12 people. It may be a 30 or 60 player multiplayer type experience. I think because they didn't want to risk having a bad showing
Yeah.
That's why we didn't see that today.
Yeah, because I know with Halo, like Phil Spencer did mention, you know, as much as I don't like when he talks sometimes, he did mention that Halo was a collection. Now, what do you mean by Halo is a collection of game that 343 Industries done? Like, that is interesting. Are you going to come out with multiple games? Is there like a whole bunch of sub games in this game? Like, even though we saw a lot more of Halo, which I liked it, but we still don't know a lot about it, you know? So they're holding stuff close to the vest, which I mean is understandable. You know, you'll probably wait till September, I'm guessing September, October, because that will be right on the cuffs of you know, launch date. But it's interesting to see what they do with Halo. You know, I'm really interested, especially because I felt like Halo kind of lost their luster when Bungie left, you know, and they've been trying to find their way, at least for me personally, like they've been trying to find their way back. But this Halo looks pretty good. Like,
well, what we saw is what 343 is going to produce.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I think that this looks better than the last one that Bungie produced.
Yeah.
And I think the collection, being that I'm sure they worked it out somehow between themselves and Bungie to get right, I think like I said, we're going to see some remastering going on. They're not going to change the original games.
No.
But it's got to be remastered for the new system, and then they're going to add on to that. Yeah. My big question, though, is this it? Right? Is this going to be the last Halo? I know we'll probably find out at the end of the game, but the last 2 times you told us Master Chief was gone,
yeah.
He came. So I'm just wondering where the franchise is going to go. Do I look forward to another one in another 1 or 2 years, or is this going to finally be it?
Yeah, because it's starting to feel like a soap opera where, you know, you got people dying and they mysteriously, hey, here I am. Okay, we did touch on Destiny already. Stalker 2. My friend was texting me on my phone. And I think it was Stalker 2. Yeah, he was like, now I never really heard of Stalker 2 because I guess this is more of a PC title, but he was all hyped up for it. So they didn't really show much on that one, but
right.
I think that's gonna be a pretty cool game, because if he's hyped for it, then that means it's gotta hold some weight, you know, because he got a pretty good taste of games.
Well, like I told you, I never heard of it before. It looked good. From what we saw, it looked good. Because I know my comment, we was all laughing. I'm like, what happened to Stalker 1?
Yeah, exactly. I remember you saying that, because I was running the same thing. Yeah. But
I mean, I think that has promise, especially if it has a large PC following. And if the PC players is excited about it, I think it's going to be something that's probably pretty good.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see how that one goes. Then they also had Warhammer, which looked pretty good. Another game they didn't show a lot of, but that game they're saying is coming out next year, 2021, which is good because you don't want to come out with all your, you know, games in a 3-month period, you know. But gives us something to look forward to on that one. What you think about Warhammer?
Looked good. I think it looked better than the original one. Mm-hmm. So I can't wait to 2021 to see that one. Matter of fact, I think that was the only game I believe that said it had a 2021 date.
Yeah.
So looking forward to that.
Yeah, because we still don't know, like, a lot of these games, you know. We know a couple of them that they were saying that was going to be this year, but some of them they didn't really even mention the date, you know, which is, you know, fine. They still working out stuff. It's development time, guys, for those that you watching. I know a lot of people are like, oh, I want the game now, blah, blah, blah. Development is hard. Development is starting to cost more than some movies now, you know, so and that's what I was saying in one of my live streams. We could definitely be seeing, and I think 2K already announced it, that the NBA 2K is going to be more expensive this year, you know, so we're going to be looking at a $70 price tag, you know. I know a lot of people don't, you know, like that, but like me, you was talking the other day, David, this stuff is expensive. Technology is expensive. And now we got these 2 great, you know, monolith gaming systems that's about to come out this winter, and it's not going to be the easiest thing to develop, even though it's going to be easier for what a lot of the stuff you can do. The SSD is going to be a game changer for both systems, everything like that. But it's still, you know, making them 4K textures, like that stuff is not a quick thing to do. You know, the more realistic you have to make something, the more time and more money you have to spend on it, you know. So we'll probably see more games, not every game, but a few more games that's going to be a little bit past that $60 mark, you know. What you agree with me on that one, or?
Yeah, I mean, I think that if you call yourself a true gamer, and I think we had this conversation last night, you have to know, or you have to expect a rise in cost, and you have to be okay with that.
Yeah.
Like I told you, when they came up with the Xbox we currently have now, I expected the $800 price tag for what it was.
Yeah.
But we still had people being like, "Oh my God, it's $500." Okay, fool, it's the same price you pay for the old one.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I expect the price raise. I think it's warranted for all the stuff that Microsoft was putting into the system, as well as Sony. You can't do it for free. I think we had the talk that Tim Cook made, who's the CEO of Apple, if nobody knows that, but he made the comment that technology isn't cheap.
No.
As much as Apple tried to keep it down, it's not cheap, right? So if you want the newest and the greatest and the best and the 4K that can go up to 8K, be willing to come off of $800 to $1,000.
Yeah.
But understand that that's going to keep you in business now for about the next 3 to 6 years, depending on how you change your systems out.
Yeah, exactly, man. Because honestly, my personal thought on the cost of the systems, I'm expecting them to start around $500, depending on configuration, stuff like that. Honestly, I think these systems should cost $600. I mean, I'm just being realistic. I think they should come out at $600. I don't think they are. A lot of people are, $600. But, like we talked, there's a lot of other things where I can't mention on this show that people buy that you don't need or that's only a temporary gain for you. And these systems can last you anywhere between 5 to 10 years, So if you look at the overall total cost of ownership of everything like that, even I bought the PlayStation 3 when it first came out. Well, not when it first came out, but I think the 3rd month, because that's when I was waiting for Metal Gear Solid. And I wanted to buy it with the package. But that was $600, and is it a good chunk of money? Yeah. Especially at that time, I wasn't getting paid that much, and you're still not getting paid much, but it's you understand it, because back then when the PlayStation 3 came out, you had the Blu-rays just coming out, and those Blu-ray players was topping $1,000.
Right.
The Blu-ray drive alone, guys, for those of you that might complaining back then, just for the Blu-ray drive alone cost $300. Just for the Blu-ray drive to be manufactured. Now it probably only costs $20-$30, but back then it was new. It cost $300 just for the manufacturing of the Blu-ray drive, and then you had the cell processor, and then you had the broadband, the cell broadband engine. You had the graphic synthesis, Xbox took the Xbox 360 had the Xeon engine, which is kind of derived from that cell processing a little bit for the PPE chip, but it's these systems, they're computers, they stopped being regular game systems, I think, with the Nintendo 64. The PlayStation 1, I think, was the start, and then Microsoft came in. Those was the start of an actual component where they work just like computers, So
think about this, because here's another thing that's been going around. Well, what do you think is, let's say they kept the systems at the same price, but they elevated the game. So instead of the game being $60, let's say games cost $80, but you less for the system. Do you think people will be more accepting of that, or are we going to still have the same complaints?
I don't know, because we're talking about people. No offense to anybody, but we're talking about people like me and you. We have an understanding of it, I always go back to the cell phone argument. Do we really need $1,000 cell phones? Yes, it costs, a lot to manufacture and R&D and everything like that, but they also have huge margins too, and everybody's okay buying a new cell phone every year, Right. So if we okay buying a $1,000 cell phone every year, I'm okay with, a little bit of rise of price of the game, a little bit more expensive console, if I'm going to get that experience, which we are, and no matter what side of the fence, because you got David, who's primary Xbox, and me, primary PlayStation, we're on different side of the fence, but we both agree, it's not like these game systems are going to fail. You're talking about the number 1 and number 2 companies for gaming. The whole market's, I'm sorry, PC games, but the whole market is dictated by these two systems, by these two companies. So it's if I'm going to get that great experience, especially now when we get in with the SSD, we're getting, these great graphics, we're getting great processing in it, all, the peripherals that we don't even know that we're going to get with them. We're hearing a lot of stuff from both camps. I don't mind paying more if I'm going to get something that's going to be an experience, and then we got to look at stuff that's not games that we're going to be doing, Netflix, Hulu, ESPN Plus, Disney Plus, playing that stuff, my Blu-ray disc, playing them on my PlayStations. those are the best way to play your movies because it's got a lot better processing in it, you know? Like, I know a lot of people like to buy the little $50 Chromecast, you know, and then they have a PlayStation, which is like, I don't understand, because what benefit do you have? Your PlayStation is going to be better than the Chromecast. You got a, you know, a $200 processor in the PlayStation on the Xbox. So, you know, for me, it looks better on the game systems. It's a lot smoother to operate the menus on the game systems than even those, you know?
Well, and plus the one thing too about Xbox gamers is we should automatically expect it to cost a bit more, because if nobody knows this, Blu-rays, we have Blu-ray players in there. We almost have to because of the size of the disc.
Yeah.
Well, Sony is the creator of Blu-ray, so they're paying their competitors, so they get a chunk out of that.
Yeah.
Which is why I was surprised that the Xbox X or the Xbox One did not go up in price.
Yeah, because of royalty fees. Yeah.
Of that, right? So I don't know how much Sony's making, but let's just say on every Xbox they make $1,000. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Well, Sony's giving it right back because we're using Azure servers pretty soon, so we're giving those royalty monies right back. So it works hand in hand, because even though they look like competitors, at least for the gaming divisions, these companies are really friends at the end of the day, you know. But they, you know, game system, they have a little bit of friendly competition, you know.
Right.
So. Anywho, let's go on. We got a couple more games. Tetris. I'm always excited for a Tetris game, and it's not like a game that you always play for hours, nothing like that. But like, if you just want a chill game, like I just downloaded a elevated Pac-Man game a couple of months ago that was free on the PlayStation Network, and it's like some of these games go back to our childhood. For, you know, those of you that are not millennials. Back in the arcades when you played like a Pac-Man or a Tetris game, you know. So this Tetris game, it's called Tetris Effect Connected, I believe it is. It looks like it's going to be a launch title. And I mean, I always get excited for these little games because, like, I think when I first get the system, I don't always want to play a AAA title right off the box sometimes, you know. Sometimes I'll just like, okay, I just spend all this money and it could be late at night because I'm always doing other stuff. I just want to turn on the system, play something real quick. And I think Tetris is going to give us that.
I think that this is going to actually probably bring back Tetris competitions.
Yeah.
Now, if I don't know that these existed, if you just go to YouTube and look up Tetris competitions, these used to be big. I mean, they paid tons of money, and we've got people out here that was phenomenal at the game.
Yeah.
Well, that all went away, you know, as the years went along. But looking at this, and I think this is what they're touting to, because in that whole advertisement, you had people all over the world disconnecting, and I think that this could bring back competitions. I love Tetris. I still play it. I have a couple of versions of that on my iPad, and then on my Xbox, I think they've released one, and then especially on my Switch. So I'm excited for Tetris Effect, see what it's gonna do.
Yeah, and you know, like you were saying, maybe this got multiplayer on it, you know. So, but they didn't announce that, so we have yet to find out about that.
Well, they showed it on the trailer. It did say on the right, it said solo, on the left it said multiplayer as well.
Oh, I probably was looking down typing notes at that point, so I probably missed that. I'm gonna need an assistant pretty good, guys. You know, anybody want to work for the Keys Review? No money yet. No money yet. We working on that part though. The Gonk. The Gonk I found is kind of interesting. With the chick with the big hand. Like I said, it looked like Half-Life cartoon version kind of.
Right.
Yeah, that looked like some pretty cool gameplay.
Interesting to see more of the story.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a lot of the story, but it did look cool of what's there.
Yeah.
And I do think because it looks like that, it's probably going to bring a lot of Half-Life fans to the plate. So.
Yeah, exactly. So we had the Gonk, the Medium. They actually showed some gameplay for the Medium because I think they showcased this earlier. I want to say they might have showcased it at the third-party event, if I'm not mistaken.
They did, but weak.
Yeah, it was like just a picture. So we actually seeing a lot more gameplay, and it looks pretty good, you know?
Yeah, I'm excited for that. That one's people's been teased about that for a long period of time. But yeah, the third-party event for that was kind of wild. Like I said, I think that what we just saw is Microsoft's E3.
Yeah.
Got to do it longer. E3 is usually in June. It's July. So I think that this was like their quote unquote E3 showing, and now it's out there. We're going to talk about a little bit more. But, you know, the Medium looks good, and it says it's a console exclusive. Now, it didn't say console launch exclusive. So I'm thinking that this one may only be on Xbox, because launch exclusive usually means it's only exclusive to that system at launch time, and then it finally comes out but they just said console exclusive, so it might only be playable here.
Yeah.
So you want to get that, Marquise? Gotta get that Xbox, bro.
Yeah, man. If they come with it, man, I might have to consider it. You know, of course, PlayStation's still gonna be my main system. You know, I ain't never leaving my PlayStation, but you know, always interested, like just to look up the Xbox One S digital edition. Like, I thought that looked so clean, and I love the way the PlayStation looks. Don't get me wrong, but that Xbox digital S looks so clean, man. And who knows? Maybe I'll just buy it just to have it on a shelf at least, just so it looks nice, you know. But you know, maybe wait for like a broken one to come online and put it on the shelf when I go to my next place. But, yeah. But anywho, we got Phantasy Star Online. Looks like it's going to be a launch exclusive for the Xbox. The Phantasy Star Online, Massey, MMORPG. One game I wish that was on PlayStation because I already heard good things about it. That one looks pretty good. So we'll see how long it'll stay exclusive for, because you know they're going to release it on PC eventually.
Well, I think when they say exclusive, they mean just Microsoft systems purely. Yeah, it definitely will probably go PC, because if you don't, it's going to cut out that part of the market, which is good for you because you do have Microsoft ran PC. So
yeah,
you know, you still can get that little chunk right there.
Yeah, so I can have my cake and eat it too with that one, you know. Have it on Neo right here. So we got that one. Crossfire looks pretty good. It does kind of look like Bright Memory Infinite, which I wish they would have sold on this one. Not as good, but it looks good still. First shooter game, person shooter.
Right. I think with Bright, again, I don't think that they want to risk a bad showing. I think they want to be able to show you that one in a little bit more of the light that we as gamers want to see it, which is a little bit of gameplay with some explanation. So I think what's coming, but that's going to be more, you know, down the road when they put it like on YouTube somewhere saying, here's what it looks like.
Yeah, exactly. Because when they saw the third party event a couple of months ago, when that was the first game they sold, and I was like, okay, Microsoft's about to come with it, and then the rest of the event was like that. But but like that game, I wish they would have sold. But Crossfire looks good. It's gonna be interesting. When did they show a date? I don't remember. They showed like a holiday time frame or anything like that.
I think that one's supposed to come around holiday time as well.
Okay, so excuse me. That's good probably, because it can't come up against Bright Memory Infinite. I don't think at all. You know, so. That one looks good. And then last but not least, Fable. And I put question marks on my pad. I'm going to let you go first on that one.
All right, so, yeah, Fable 5, you know, it wasn't the best showing at the end. But it is, like I said, I think it's something to keep the mouth wet. Again, I could give you everything today, and then you don't come look for anything else.
Yeah.
So I think their thought process is, all the fans are waiting this long, we're going to give them a little taste and then make them drool for a while. But I think if it's anything like any of the other Fable games, dude, it's going to be good. I mean, I have hundreds of hours of gameplay in all these games. It's one of those ones that is very addictive, because the fact that depending on the path you go, you always wonder what it would be like if you went the other way.
Yeah.
So I've always found myself playing whatever side, and then if I play good, I want to go back and play evil, because your face, everything changes about you. Your body change, your face change, the people you change. So it's always good to see what those two endings were, and I think that's how it's really from the developers meant to be played, because I think you do the developers a disservice if you just play that one way and not go back to see all the work they put into the other side.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to Fable for sure.
Yeah, I think it was trash, and I'm not saying the game's trash, because I know the game's going to be awesome, but that showcase at the end was trash. I felt like Microsoft had a great opportunity to end that thing. I'm sorry, Microsoft, you do not get no points for that. I actually deducted points from my ratings just because of that ending, you know, because Fable, like you said, Fable's going to be an exit game, the good, the evil thing, the way your body looks, that's going to be an amazing game. There's no doubt about that, you know, so that's exciting to have, and I do think that was the right game to show at the end. That 15-30 second trailer, whatever the heck that was, I mean, that's almost just like Assassin's Creed all over again. Like, for me, like, it's like, okay, we see the little fairy get swallowed up by the frog, and like, oh snap! So then I'm expecting more, and then it's like Fable, and then out. And I'm like, really? Like, come on. So that's the way they ended it. You know, you said it a taste. I don't even think it was a taste. It was just like, oh, we have this in the window right here. You can buy it if you want type thing. But
it's a teaser. There's dingling the carrot. They knew there's gonna be Marquise. We gonna dingle this carrot for the keys, just to make him upset today.
Microsoft, this is the reason why I haven't bought an Xbox yet. Just give me that one thing. But yeah, I just felt like, for me, if you're closing out with a game, it has to, like, you know, I hate to compare it, but with PlayStation, they sold Horizon, and even though I don't think none of that was really gameplay or anything like that, they sold a lot of it. You know, I think that part alone was like 2-3 minutes or something like that. You know, so I was expecting at least a minute worth of stuff, but hey, we'll see. You know, they're probably saving it up for something, but you know.
Then again, I know I keep saying this, but nobody's prepared for this time to happen.
Yeah, yeah.
And I have read on everybody's end, right? And I think Nintendo canceled their thing, and then Sony had to come up real quick. So everybody had to reformulate what they were going to do. Understand, I don't know how many people listening has ever been to an E3 or know what the preparation is. I've been to 2 E3s. I don't know. I started preparing for my E3 about a year and a half before I went.
Yeah.
Because I need, you know, when you are somebody coming in as press, you start a year and a half because you get all these invites and where you want to go and what you want to see, and we get to see things that nobody else sees. So these companies sometimes are preparing 2 years before. So then all of a sudden 2020 comes, you get a pandemic, and they're like, well, you can't go to the studio. What do we do?
Yeah,
so
I know that's tough.
Right. I think with a lot of these big titles like a Fable and things like that, they were scared.
Yeah.
Halo was playable, or was a play demo that we saw, but it was also on a video.
Yeah.
But we just got to see some play.
Yeah,
so I do think down the line we're going to see some gameplay. We're going to know more about Fable, what they said. I know we all wish it was today.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
yeah, I thought they should have just sold more. I mean, I understand development time and stuff like that. All that's true. But I think just like the anticipation, you know, like the anticipation, like, okay, they're going to really, and they, you know, to Microsoft's credit, they did show a lot, you know, because I think I gave that last event like a 2. That third party event was like a 2 for me, you know, like, honestly, if it wasn't for Bright Memory Infinite, I don't think I would have even rated it that high personally. But, you know, it's like, I just felt like they should close out a little bit better, because they, like I said, they had a solid showcase for me. You know, I think that's like maybe a 6.57 is, you know, range for me. It would have been higher if they would have closed out better with Fable, but hey, you know, like you said, pandemic and stuff like that. You know, at least they're giving us something. They gave us more than the last event, so I'm thankful for that. So I can't hate on Microsoft too much, but man, it was like when they said last event, like, okay, this Fable, I just heard it last night. They released a Fable, and it's like, I think I was just anticipating it a lot. That's probably what it was, you know. Right. So, but yeah, what you feel like you gave the event?
I give it about a solid 8. Being where it is. For effort, I'll give them a 10 for effort.
Yeah.
Also, pretty
give
much
everybody a 10 for effort.
Right. I mean, the thing is, the way I look at it is, I'm grateful that we've had this from Microsoft and from Sony, because to be honest with you, they could have just said, look at our console, we're gonna put it online, and we're not gonna do anything, right?
Yeah.
So I am grateful that we did get this glimpse and we know what's going on.
Yeah.
Down the line. So I give it about a solid 8.
Yeah. Cool, man. So that's pretty much all I really got. You got any last words?
Well, I'll just tell your audience now. So I'm glad again to be here on the Keys Reviews. You guys do know I do run my own podcast called A Day with Crime. We've been on about 2 years. So in about a week from Monday, well, we're gonna drop some links. Marquise will be my guest. We're gonna be doing the episode on Jeffrey Epstein, and he's gonna come and hang out with me and my daughter Geneva, and we're just gonna have a good old podcasting true crime time. So we'll drop you guys some links. Be sure to check that out and support Marquise, and we're going to be glad to have you on the show.
Yes, sir. That's some good stuff. So, you know, we'll let you guys know when that episode drops. We're going to be having a good time. Something that I've been kind of following a little bit more lately. You know, I just watched the whole Netflix series again the other day. Probably going to watch it again and take some more notes tonight. But, you know, we're definitely going to have a good time. Day with Crime. You know, like what David said, him and his daughter, Geneva. So we're definitely looking to go and have that and have a good time. So we'll be bringing that to you guys. It's going to be on Google Podcasts, going to be on Apple Podcasts, and of course you can look at the links that's on the YouTube links. Also got it in a ticker right there. You know, go to his page, A Day with Crime fans group on Facebook, and then at Cena something. What was it?
401, which is that's my Twitter handle. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. So on Twitter. So outside of that, that's all I really have for today, guys. That was a pretty good event. You know, had a good time hanging out with David again. I appreciate you coming back, David. You had fun?
I did, man. Thanks for having me back, and look forward to doing this again. So
Yeah.
this has been fun.
Yeah, man. So, you know, thank you guys again for joining us. You know, we know it's hard out here in these pandemics, so I just want to say stay safe, everybody. Make sure you respect everybody. Wear your mask, please. You know, make sure you wash your hands often, because we having a lot of things happening and it's upticking. So be safe out there. And thanks for watching the stream. Of course, if you want to, you can go to David's podcast, check him out. He also got a Patreon. I got a Patreon now, so if you want to support us, you know, as an independent artist, we have those things available if you want to, you know, chip in a few dollars here and there. Otherwise than that, my name is Marquise. This is Keys Review. Peace.
Get on, guys.